Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. I am man who just watched Nintendo Direct. Last time we fought our way hard through the AST concept and exercise. Today we're going to be working on the file concept and exercise. So, functions for working with files are provided by the file module. To read a whole file, use file.read. To write a file, use file.write. Every time a file is written to with file.write, a file descriptor is opened and a new Elixir process is spawned. For this reason, writing to a file in a loop using file.write should be avoided. Instead, a file can be opened using file.open. The second argument to file.open is a list of modes, which allow you to specify if you want to open the file for reading or for writing. File.open returns a PID of a process that handles the file. To read and write the file, use the functions from the I/O module and pass this PID as the I/O device. When you're finished working with the file, close it with file.close, as all the mentioned functions from the file module also have a bang variant that raises an error instead of returning an error tuple. Example, file.read bang. Use that variant if you don't intend to handle errors such as missing files or lack of permissions. And the exercise we're going to be working on today is called newsletter. You're a big model train enthusiast and have decided to share your passion with the world by starting a newsletter. You'll start by sending the first issue of your newsletter to your friends and acquaintances that share your hobby. You have a text file with a list of email addresses. Okay. So we're going to copy and download the example. And we'll open it up in VS Code and we'll do our normal little dance where we'll put the test file over here and we'll put the README file down here and we'll bump this up a little. We'll do that for now. That might need to go down a little bit. All right, cool. So let's get started. Implement read email function. It should take a file path. The file is a text file that contains email addresses separated by new lines. The function should return a list of email addresses from the file. Okay, did they give us a list of yeah, they did. Cool. Emails. Okay. Well, they're probably gonna access the assets from yeah, they're gonna access the assets from the test file, so we don't actually need to provide any. That's fine. Okay. I'm gonna take a peek at the file module docs. Just so we can get a sense of what we are to do. So let us do invalid world phrases. Okay. So path. So this is just going to return the raw stuff. So this is not going to pass the test because it got an OK tuple with the string and not what we wanted to break it out. So what we'll do is we'll pattern match this. Do they say what the error is supposed to be? If the file is empty. They don't really test the errors. All right, I'm gonna contents. I want to use the bang version, even though typically I'd avoid that. It depends on like how you're designing the module, like if you want the module to return errors or if you just want to throw. But typically, I want it to return errors. So let's string.split, and split at splits the string into two. No, we don't want. We want split. Divides a string into substrings. Each unit code. Groups white space. I wonder. Contents. I wonder if that'll actually use new lines. It does. There you go. Cool. And so the other thing you can do, like, so the way I've done this is like, I have an individual line of code that says file.read path, pulls in the contents, and then it calls string.split contents. The other way you could write this would be, you know, you start with the path, and then you pipe that into like file.read, and then you pipe that into string.split. You know, that works as well. I think in this case, this reads fine. Anytime you have a pipe where you're kind of mutating the type or the like domain concept, it's always a little shaky because it requires the user to really understand the pipe. Whereas like if you have a pipe that's just transforming the same like list of integers into different integers, it's a little bit easier, but this is fine for now. Alright, open a log file for writing. Sending an email is a task that might fail for many predictable reasons, like a typo. To ensure you can retry sending emails to all your friends. Without sending duplicates, you need to log the email addresses that already received the email. For this, you need a log file. Implement open log. It should take a file path, open a file for writing, and return the PID of the process that does it. Okay. So I think they just said it was like file.open. And then the mode. Wish there was a way to like. Yeah, I wish there was a way to like open the documentation for this module from VS Code. That would be really cool. Alright, so we'll look at open because this will have all the options. The file, right. Oh, okay, so you pass a list of options. I wonder if you're just sending a single option, do you need to... Well, that's neat. I wonder if you need to do that. So we'll say path, and then we'll say write. And we will test. Open log, run a cursor. That looks good. Alright, we will implement newsletter.log email sent. It should take a PID of the process that handles the file and a string with the email address. It should write to the email address to the file followed by a new line. Okay. So let's see here. File.write is probably what it is. File.write takes the path. Path content. No, we want no, we don't want to copy files. Writes contents to a path. Oh, you're supposed to use the IO. They did say that. So that would just be right. IO.write. First argument is the device. That's neat. Cool. All right. So we'll say IO.write, and we'll give it our PID, and then we'll give it our email. and then we'll end it with a new line, and we'll test log sent email. That looks good. Okay, implement newsletter.close log function. It should take a PID of the process that handles the file and closes the file. Probably just file.close PID. And we'll test that. That looks good. Then we need send newsletter. Now that you have all the building blocks of the email sending procedure, you need to combine them together in a single function. Implement send newsletter function. It should take a path of a file with an email address, path of a log file, and an anonymous function that sends an email to a given email address. It should read all the email addresses from the given file and attempt to send an email. Alright, I gotta read this. I was like zoning out just reading it. It takes the path of the file with the email addresses, path of a log file, and an anonymous function that sends an email to a given email address. It should read all the email addresses from the given file and attempt to send an email to every one of them. If the anonymous function that sends the email returns OK, write the email address to the log file, followed by a new line. Make sure to do it as soon as the email is sent. Make sure to do it as soon as the email is sent. Okay. And then looking back, they mentioned every time a file is written to with file.write, a file descriptor is opened in a new Elixir process. Spawn for this read and write to a final loop, which should be avoided. Instead, open returns the PID. Okay, so we're already doing that, so we can do a loop in the io.write. Like, we don't have to worry about that. Okay. So let's get our PID. I don't even know if I want to call this PID. I would probably just call it file PID, because I want it to be a little descriptive of the fact that, like, email, what am I doing here? Okay. Actually, we'll call it logger PID. And then we need to load all the emails. So emails equals read emails, and we'll give it the email path. So we have that. We've got our emails. We have our logger PID, and then we need to you know, I mean, you could do anything here. So what do we need to do with the result? If the anonymous function that sends the email returns OK, write to the log file. Okay. I mean, yeah, you could just do this with a for, you know, comprehension. Emails, and then you're going to call case send function, and you're going to pass it in the specific email. And then if this returns OK, then you will log send email, and you'll use the logger PID, and then the email itself. Otherwise, they don't really say what to do otherwise. I'll just do logger info, logger warning. Could not send email to, I don't know if this is actually going to do anything. Oh, and then we need to close it. Is that what it's warning me about? Email path does not exist. Emails path is probably better. Alright, then we need to close the PID. Close log. Logger. PID. Okay, and then this one, what are you warning me about? Oh, alright, I'll put require logger. And let's test this out. Close, run a cursor. That looks good. We got a lot of warnings in our test file, which is probably not wanted. Typically, the way you can kind of solve for that is you can tell it to capture the log files. Let's actually add that. Although we're not going to be submitting X unit, and then there's like a capture log. I'm pretty sure with log. Pretty sure there's a way to like capture log, to like capture the logs of all of them. Start capture log true. I think that's what we want. Let's run this again. Let's run all the tests. Alright, that's not what I'm looking for. Wonder, can you do it up here? Async false. No. I don't want to. Oh, wait, module tag. That might be what we want. And we might actually want capture log true. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that like that'll make sure X unit actually captures the log and they're not actually put out to the console, which is very helpful for validating that you want logs to be you're validating the log output as like a side effect of your function. But okay, so all of our tests are passing. I'm pretty happy with this. It's pretty basic. Exercism submit. See if the analyzer has any feedback to us. It does. What do you want here? Preferred email, not preferred. There you go. I like that. Puts overwrite. Okay, so we'll do puts, and we'll just say email, and that'll put our new line on there for us. And we'll validate that the tests will pass, and they do. And we'll upload a new iteration, and we'll process it, and it looks good. All right, cool. we'll take a sneak peek at the community solutions, the community solutions. They're using Stream. Oh, aren't they fancy pants? So Stream is great. Stream is really good for performance. And we'll talk about streams later, so I'm not going to get into too much of them today, but they're really cool. But we haven't learned them yet, so I feel like it's not appropriate for the solution, but that's fine. So they open the log, and then they use enum.each. That's similar to before. That looks pretty close to what we have. What else do we have? Email each, send function, okay. And okay. Alright, cool. So I'm happy with my iteration. I'm going to mark it as complete. I'm going to publish it for all the world to see. And I have learned file, and I've unlocked grep, and I've done another exercise. So cool. Well, that was much easier than yesterday. Definitely appreciated the relaxed atmosphere. Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed watching, and if you have any questions or feedback, please do let me know. Always happy to help somebody. And other than that, I want to thank you for watching again, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.